So quick recap, as I said, value type, reference type and all we will see, but before that a small general knowledge I want to give you. So what is that general knowledge? That is called comment. Basically, whenever you put some comment in your coding, okay, why not practically will do it? I will open a Visual Studio solution and parallelly we will do that. Since we are at the beginning level, though we have a workflow, variable, data type, typecasting, operator, conditions, loops, but few things in between will come just like a general knowledge. That is also equally important. So this is not a chapter what I am going to show you now, but it is a general knowledge for any programming language. So let's understand this and then jump to our actual topic. So should I name it as C# underscore comments, different types of comments. First thing is, what is comment, why we need it and how we need it. So when we say comment, it is instruction or remarks for future users. Imagine today you are working in this company, okay, last 2 years, 3 years you are working in this company, so much dependency on you. Now you have written so much coding, okay, 2-3 projects completely you have involved yourself and written so much coding. You don't know comment, suppose thousands of lines of the coding you have written. So tomorrow you are leaving this company, somebody else is coming and joining in your position, right? Now tell me, one function is there, you have written 500 line of the coding, another function is there, you have written 200 line of the coding. So the new person, when he will come and join in your position, do you think he will read all those 200, 500 line of the coding and then he will understand that, acha, this function is doing this, that function is doing that? He will take 1 month to read your coding, isn't it? Will the company give 1 month to read the coding and ready for working? No, that much bandwidth you will not be having. So basically in that case, comments is required. That means whatever coding you are writing, if you want to write in industry standard, every coding, every function, every block of the code should have correct comment with you. Just see how I am writing a function. Suppose my function name is static. I will tell you what is static all about, but let me use it. Later on we will discuss what is static. So suppose I have a function like static void and my function name is calculate salary. Okay, calculate salary. Now here I might be having hundreds of lines of code. Though function name is calculate salary, inside this function chances there are so many conditional approaches might have used. If department is management, apply bonus this. If department is sales, apply bonus that. Many things. House rent allowance, some other condition. Imagine some 200 lines or 400 lines of the coding has been written here. And we are calling this function here, right? Just like this. That we saw. Unless you call this function here, this code will not be executed, because always what happens, compilers enter into the program from this, it proceeds like this, like this, like this, and in line number 11 it will go out. So this function will be not treated at all. That's why you used to call this function. So you call this function here because you want your compiler to come to this function and execute whatever coding you have written here. Just like this, decimal, or integer, basic salary, house rent allowance, maybe something else like bonus, maybe income tax, etc. Then you used to give direct value sometimes, or you used to ask user to enter That also possible. Like you said, okay, my basic salary is this, my house rent is this, my bonus is this, and so on and so forth. Something you wrote. Now you are saying calculate the total salary here. So integer total salary equal to, you said, basic plus HRA plus bonus plus minus income tax and so on. Just taking one example. It's not that today's topic is using integer. Already we have used it last class. Nothing new. But today's topic is about the comment. So like this, imagine you have written lot of coding and you have also displayed it just like this. Console.writeLine saying that total salary is, if you remember last class placeholder, can you suggest me what should I write here to display that total salary? Anybody? Yeah, 0, right? Yes. And then here you have to write something called TOT. Acha. Yesterday we saw this. Today I am going to tell you even one more process to write this. There is no good or bad between this and that. But plus, if you are using, definitely bad, that is for sure. Like if you are saying plus tot, then memory management point of view, this is a wrong practice, that is for sure. But if you are using placeholder, you have two ways to use it. One is this way, which we saw last class. One more way is you put a dollar symbol here at the beginning, okay, before double quote starts, and take this TOT instead of 0, directly put it here. Some people feel it further easier, so that no need to remember 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Directly put whatever you want to display. Only thing is at the beginning you have to put $1. Like suppose you want to display some other also. Bonus is, this time no need for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Directly display bonus, possible. But if you not put this $, what will happen? It will understand it like a text. So it will display as you see it here. So, but if you ask me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is better or this one is better, I will say nothing suggestion from my side. Both are exactly same time consumption, same memory consumption. Only thing is, some people feel it good, some people feel that good. Whichever you feel good, you use it. Whether placeholder 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or directly variable num in the curly bracket. So, okay, something new we saw about the placeholder, but focus is about comment. Now here, I want to put some single line comment, for example. Okay, single line comment means just like this. All data are treated integer, assuming can I guess mute to all, because some sound is coming. If by chance you are unmuting, don't forget to mute yourself. Okay, so can I write here like this? All data are treated integer, assuming salary in decimal is difference negligible in difference. That means with decimal or without decimal, negligible difference. That's why we took integer. Now, why we wrote this one? No, it's not for you, of course. It is for future user. Because somebody may raise a question, hey, always decimal 99.99, 99.57, why you have taken integer? So you wrote a line here, since the negligible difference is coming, so I used integer, just for example. So this is called single line comment. So what do you mean by single line comment? There are three types of comment. One is single line comment, So remark in a single line, double slash. Okay, you have to start with double slash. Second is multi-line comment. When we say multi-line comment, it is something like this. Imagine somebody wanted to write some comment here. May not be appropriate in this case because it's very easy calculation. Imagine it is one quadratic equation, right? You want to take 2-3 variables and you want to write few things about each variable. That is something called multiple line comment. So whenever you want to write multiple lines comment, one way is every line you give double slash double slash. That is also one way, like this. Here basic comma HRA comma bonus is added into total salary. Again I will put one more line just like this. I will say here, income tax is deducted from total salary. Makes sense? Or you have something called multi-line comment. Either you give 2 times, imagine 10 lines, then 10 times you have to give slash 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 slash. Why not just like this, slash star and star slash? This is called multi-line comment. So whenever you think so many lines I want to write like a paragraph, then you have to go for multi-line. So multi-line comment will be starting with slash star, then whatever line you want to write, I'm putting dot dot indicating that these are some comments you have put. And whenever your line is over, there you have to say star slash. Here I give star slash. Next comment is called XML comment. So there are total 3 types of comments. So third is XML comment. What do you mean by this XML comment? Sometimes what happens, these are all what? For a particular equation or particular statement, isn't it? About this console.writeLine, you gave some comment. About this declaration of variable, you gave some comment. About this calculation, chance there you will give some comment. That is called inside function, you give some comment. But sometimes what happens, at the top of the function also you give some comment. Okay, so just like this, you go here, put 3 times slash 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 and slash. Okay, it will come with something called summary. In this open bracket close bracket, line number 16 I am talking about, there is no input. If you by chance have some input like this, in future we will see how input will be provided to function, if any. Then automatically you will say what? It will give some information about that input also. To avoid the error, I am just putting double slash above. So here if I will say slash slash slash, have a look. First of all, it gives summary block about the function. Second is about x, what is that? Third is about y, what is that? Okay, we don't have much idea about this integer x and integer y because we have not yet proceeded up to that level. But okay, there is something called input to the function, input parameter to the function. So if input you are supplying by the way, then it will automatically give you block for that input as well, right? So here you can write something about x, here you can write something about y. Imagine here you want to say, here x is basic salary, here y is say income tax. Possible. So instead of saying 7 as income tax, here you can say y. Instead of saying 99 as basic salary, you can say x. Just like this. That means you are expecting basic salary and income tax from the function where you are calling from. So here in line number 9, I will go and write my salary is 9999 basic salary, and my income tax is 77. So this 999 will come and copy in X, and 77 will come and copy in Y. Instead of hard coding here, it will be collected from the main and it will be supplied to basic salary. That is also fine. So here, supplying or not supplying, that is not much important to discuss about. Here important is, if something you are supplying, give some input comment here. That is called parameter comment. Parameter, input, both are same. Now in this summary, I can give something overall comment about this function. Should I write here like this? Below function is for calculating total salary. If you want to press enter, you press enter. Automatically it will provide you one more line with triple slash. Calculating total salary after deducting income tax. Just for example. So three types of comment we saw. One is single line comment, which is only for a specific equation or specific statement. One is called multi-line comment, when your comment is with multiple lines, and one is called XML comment. So we have a chapter called functions. In that functions chapter, we will see more about it. Integer x, integer y. Sometimes we will provide call by reference like ref integer y. Those things we have a separate chapter called functions. But for the sake of understanding this comment, I just put some two input parameter here and I supplied it from here. So let's run it and see how it behaves. Should I see here console.read key? Why console.read key, guys? Because once this function will be called in this line number 9, it will execute this up to line number 31. After displaying this data, it will again back to this line, isn't it? Then of course I have to stay there, see the output, I will press any key, then only it should come back to the program. That's why every program, what you do, before curly bracket close of the main, you put a console.read key. To understand it better, should we debug it? So line number 8, I put a breakpoint. See how I'm debugging it. Then I will get back to you. If you have any questions or queries, I will clarify you. So I put a breakpoint here in line number 8. Okay. Who can say why line number 8? Why not line number 5, 6 or 10, 12? Why this line number 8 is more important for me? Anybody? Main is more important. Okay, always for any program, your compiler always enters into main. Okay, so from main it starts and then proceed forward like this. So when it will come to line number 9, it will understand that acha, there is a function called calculate salary. I have to go there by taking 99 and this. So it will jump from this line to this line. That is what our expectation. Now we will see whether our expectation is correct or not. That's why I put a breakpoint here, saying that whenever compiler will start its journey from line number 7, 8, then 9, after 9, 20, then 21. So I want to see how it is flowing. So I put a breakpoint here just to stop the compiler. So click this green color arrow mark now and make sure it is in debug mode so that you can understand where compiler is going, what it is doing. So click it. So always I suggest you, right after completion of your program, debug it once. That is called unit testing. Debugging means you are closely working with compiler. One time will come when you will feel yourself like a compiler. Okay, if some mistake is there, you will feel like somebody else wrote your signature. For that, you have to debug, lot of debugging. Then you will feel like I am the compiler. Okay, so I came here, F10. Last class also we saw F10. F10 means jump to next line, compile the current line. But today we are seeing one more new function key for debugging, F11. So let me write that. F10. These are all whatever we are learning, it is general knowledge, I will say. Our topic is actually data type typecasting. We will go to that after 2-3 minutes. F10, compile current line and jump to next line, so that we can see current line what happened, correct or wrong. F11, jump to definition of function. What do you mean? You can see here body of the function is written line number 20 to line number 32, but that calling of this function happened in the main, isn't it, line number 9. So if somebody wants to jump from calling area line number 9 to actual function area line number 20, because I want to see line by line here again, right? What is happening in 23, what is happening in 25, line number 31, I want to see. So obviously I have to jump from here to there. So compiler is waiting for me here. Line, you can see yellow color background. So if I'll press F11, instead of jumping to line number 10 or 11, it will go to line number 21. See what happens. So I'm not pressing F11, F10, I'm pressing F11. Have a look. It came to line number 21. Can you see the yellow color arrow mark? So that means my compiler jumped from there to here. But if I could have pressed F10, being here in line number 9, then it could have come to line number 11, next line. But I don't want that. I want to go to that function. I want to see every line what is happening. Check it out. How much basic? 9999. That means you understood that, acha, whatever supplied data, 9999, it came and sit in X, and from X, it went to basic. That means ultimately my basic salary become 9999. HRA and this hard-coded data, so no need to bother. I tax, income tax, whatever came from there as second parameter, that came and sit in Y, and that Y I am supplying it to income tax. That means indirectly my income tax become 77. So that way basic salary is 9999 plus HRA plus bonus minus income tax. So all of those came to total. That means this time what should I press? F10, F10, F10. Because this time I am not going to anywhere else. I want to go to next line, next line, next line. So I press F10. Then I will cross check line number 25. Is it calculating? Right? It calculated 10030. It's fine. Then I will display that. Parallelly, I will see the output window as per my expectation whether it is displaying. Then I will further press F10. It will come back to same line number 9 where it has jumped from, and then it will come to line number 11. Now it is saying that you have to press any key, then only I will come back to the program. So that is what the reason is. Read key. Read key means you read a key, then only I will back to the program. So should I read a key? Read a key means press a key. So I pressed a key, then it came to line number 12. So this is how I debugged it. So one new step, F11 along with F10. So general knowledge is comment, but along with that general knowledge, we got few more things. How to debug from one calling area to definition area, then how to define a function in different place, and how to call that in different place. Now questionnaires, if any. I can see one raised hand. Vindu, you have any question? No, it will not take memory because it's not executed by a compiler at all. It is just like, sometimes what you do, you are writing examination answer, right side you are writing some comment for your teacher, right? Similar to that. It is not being treated as equation also, data also, nothing. So compiler will not at all go to that. Anybody else? Yeah. Yes. Few programming, they will have their own syntax, but yes, comment is everywhere available. Nothing like that. We are starting from the beginning, so if somebody doesn't know any other language also, nothing matter. F10 and F11. Comment you can see here also. You can see here, and you can see it in the menu also. Various ways are there to provide the comments. If you go to menu, somewhere it will be available as well as a you can just select and apply some menu, or you can click here also. Can you see some standard box is there? You can see, okay, there also some shortcut as well as direct button will be there. So possible either you use keyboard or use mouse and go and click here. Like suppose I want to provide, I typed this line and I want to provide comment, or I have already provided comment, I want to uncomment, I can go here and click it just like this also. Okay, and if you want to remember the key combination, here also you will see it. Can you see Control K comma Control U? If you see here, Control K comma Control C. So these are all various ways to provide it. All right, anybody else? Any other question about function, how it is defined below and how it is called here? All understood? How I pass the input parameter, how it is coming and supplying to the x, and this will be to y. All these things easy. Nobody has any doubts? All right, now let's back to our actual topic. We were in data types and typecasting, right? So I will minimize this, and again I will open our old application, variables and data type. Or why not, I will prepare one more solution and I will prepare one more notepad also. So new notepad, I will write the topic as more about data types and typecasting. Little bit idea we got yesterday, how to use data type, how to use variables and all, and I sent you one notes as well. If you see your Google Drive, this is the note I shared to you. Let's go to that area where we are discussing about these are all data types. Okay, so little bit we discussed about it. What is range of the data, what is memory of the data, how much memory it is being taken by each data type, you can see, and based on that we are finalizing which is the best one to use. Like I said, if there are 200 students in the class and somebody says roll number is the data, then no doubt all of this is possible. But why should you take unnecessary bigger one if smaller one is able to do my work? So in that case I will take this one, byte. I can also take this if 100 students are there, but minus will never be allowed in the roll number. Nobody says my roll number is minus 20. That's why I said, okay, with same 8-bit memory, if I am getting the range up to 255, why not I will take up to 255. So I took byte. Like that you have to decide based on the data. And we used also a couple of variables and data to make use of them. Today what I will show you is, apart from conversion to integer, conversion to decimal, I think 2 conversion we have seen so far, we will see more about it. Okay, so value reference more will use, and more type conversion we'll see, and most importantly what are different categories of type conversion. So data type conversion as well as more about data types. So let's take a question and apply them. Ask user to enter x and y. Okay, ask user to enter x and y. Take x as integer and y as decimal. Okay, store the value of, first time I will say x into y, integer into decimal, x into y. Display both x and y. Suppose this is the question. Let's see what typecasting, what data type, what conversion is best practice in this case. You may have 2 to 3 ways, but which is the best practice out of that? Let's see. So first part is ask user to enter x and y. If x and y are 2 variables, then data type you have to talk about. So integer x and decimal y. So let's go to our Visual Studio. Should I close this? We will create one more solution. And this will be specially about various data and its conversion. So I will name this project as data type underscore casting underscore parsing. So there are 2 things. One is called casting, one is called parsing. So we'll see both of them. So data type underscore casting underscore parsing. So we'll see today one new thing called parsing also. So I will create a new function here. Currently you just remember how to write a function with static, void, etc. I know you don't understand much about this, but okay, I will tell you what is this little later. I will name this function as typecasting underscore 1. Okay, first function of typecasting. Call this, otherwise it will not be executed, and console.read key. This kind of skeletal structure always you need it, only the name of the function may be different time. So what we have to do here in this function, as per our question, it is saying first to declare 2 variables and give some data into it and store x value into y value. So here I will say integer x decimal y, and it is asking accept from the user. Accept from user means console.readline writeline. If it will say assign, then you have to give direct value here, x equal to 20, y equal to 30.56 or so, but it is saying accept it. Accept it means I have to ask user to enter the value. So console.writeline, enter x in integer. I am giving some hints also to user, so that user will come to know that where I have to enter decimal, where I have to enter integer. So x equal to, at least what you saw yesterday, okay, to apply typecasting on the console.readline, that you can help me today. New things we will learn, no problem, but what we have already learned yesterday, I mean last class, can you help me? So what should I write here so that this error will go? Converter to int 32-bit. So convert dot to int 32-bit. Why not 16-bit? Why not 64-bit? Why 32-bit? Who can say? Integer text 32-bit as per the list. You can see integer text 32-bit. If it could be long, then perhaps it is integer 64-bit. Absolutely fine. So this is also typecasting, but today we are not talking about this typecasting. We are talking about few more. We will come to that. So I got the value of x. Similarly, I will get the value of y also. Okay, enter y in decimal. Absolutely fine. I got decimal, so here I have to write 2 decimal. Alright. Now as per our question, it is saying please store x value into y. Now tell me, x is how much memory? 32-bit. Y is how much memory? 128 bit, isn't it? If you see this list, decimal text 128 bit. Absolutely fine. Now when we are saying x equal to y, take x as integer, y as decimal, store value of x into y. If I want to store value of x into y, should I write x equal to y or y equal to x in this case? Remember your high school mathematics. Y equal to x, of course, isn't it? Anybody has a question mark why these guys are saying y equal to x? What is harm with x equal to y? Anybody like that? Absolutely fine, right? Because it says store the value of x into y, not y into x. So whichever giver, he will be right side. Whichever taker, he will be left side. So who is taking the data? Y. Who is giving the data? X. Absolutely fine. Now, if I will analyze this line in detail, small memory is going to larger memory or larger memory is going to smaller memory? Smaller to larger. That means you can understand it like a small matchbox you are going to put in a travel bag. Take it that way. There is a travel bag, its capacity is much more, and there is a small matchbox. You want to put that matchbox inside that travel bag. It is that kind of thing. So do you face any issue while putting a matchbox inside a travel bag? You don't face any issue. Unless somebody say, hey, my matchbox is like bigger than a cupboard. So in general, if I will ask you, can I store matchbox inside a travel bag? You will say, easy, sir, because it's small one, that is bigger one. But if I will say y equal to x, sorry, x equal to y, forget this line. Imagine this line is not there, and I am saying x equal to y. Now you tell me, small is going to larger or the larger is going to smaller? Obviously, larger is going to smaller, isn't it, in this case? So just like you are going to put that travel bag inside a matchbox, don't you think so? So from here itself you will come to know that if I am writing y equal to x, I will not have any issue. But if I am writing x equal to y, I will definitely have some issue. What issue? Memory issue. One is smaller one is larger one. You are forcing me to put that larger one into smaller one. How can I do it? Somebody has to help me, or technology has to help me. So here, if I am saying, please put y equal to x, it will not show any error. Have a look. There is no error here. But by chance I will say x equal to y, it will show one error. Can you see red color underline below that y? So whenever you say y equal to x, that is called implicit typecasting. Implicit means in English what you understand? Automatically. No need to do any efforts. Automatically it happens. That is called implicitly doing. Implicitly happening. So this is called implicit casting. For this reason only I was telling you before that comment. Now you are easy to remember this because double slash is nothing but the comment. It will not take any execution time or memory or anything. It is just for instruction. So implicit casting or implicit typecasting. Because x is your integer which is taking less memory, and y is your decimal which is taking more memory. Now what I will do, I will take two more variables. Same, I will copy paste once again and I will make it as _2. One more function. And here instead of saying y equal to x, I will say x equal to y. Now it is showing error. But you are telling, sir, my data range is correct only. Here I will enter 200. Here I will enter 500. Something like that. When it is asking, both 200 as well as 500, both are fit for integer. Why it is showing error? because 200, have a look. If you see integer, 200 also can store, 500 also can store, because it's a very big range, right? But still it is showing error. Now you are saying I'm 100% sure my range of the data is inside integer. Can you please help me so that this y can be stored in x? Right? That is called typecasting. If somebody is saying no, this y is something like this. Okay, my y is something like this. Even though you will do typecasting also, it is not going to help you. It will throw something called exception. Exception is nothing but kind of error. So if you are 100% sure your range of the data is matching, then you have the provision for explicitly casting it and assign to y. So for that purpose you are writing here to integer. So one way is convert dot to integer. Why? Because x is integer. So typecasting is nothing but you have to check the left side part. Whatever data type, you have to convert to that data type. Process wise same, convert dot to string, convert dot to integer, convert dot to decimal, but you have to see left side part, what is it, according to that you have to write it. So this kind of conversion we say it as explicit type conversion. Explicit type conversion means manual type conversion, but conditions apply. Remember, conditions apply. If y range is not capable to be held by integer x, then even your convert dot to int32 also cannot help you. Okay, so conditions apply is explicit typecasting is only permitted within the range of the data. So if range of the data is completely more than integer range, then even your type conversion also cannot help it out. You have one more way, just like this. Okay, that is called parsing. I will tell you parsing, after that I will come to that. This time we are continuing casting. So there are two types of data conversion. One is casting, one is parsing. So currently we are learning casting. So casting means always convert dot to, convert dot to, convert dot to, you have to write based on the left side part. Then you call this and execute it. So first let's execute function number 1, then we will execute function number 2. We will see how it is behaving. Then I will ask you if you have any confusion. So console.writeLine. This part you already know. If I want to display both x and y, because if you see the question, it is saying store, after that you display both x and y. So I want to display both x and y. Can I write like this? X value is curly bracket x and y value is curly bracket y, and I will put a dollar at the beginning. Make sense? Same way here also I will say x value is this, y value is this. So first let's execute function number 1 and see what happens. So put a breakpoint here. Already you have called function number 1, run it. It will ask you enter first value, then enter second value, then typecasting, and then let's display after typecasting what happens. So F10, F10, F10. Okay, I said x value just like simply 10. Then F10, F10, it is saying decimal. I said y value something like 20.57 or 87. Press enter. So check it out whether the value has been collected properly. Absolutely fine. Now x value is 10, going and sitting in y. Since y is bigger one, so no need to typecast. It will say absolutely fine, I can hold it without any typecasting. So here we will see x value is 10 and also y value is 10. Don't you see that? Since x value went and sit in y, so at the end x value, y value both will be 10, right? Because I entered 10 for x. Then it came back to the program and stopped it. That is one way of looking into it, because it is implicit. Implicit means automatic. So automatic typecasting done by our IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. .NET in general. Now here .NET cannot help you unless you instruct it to help. So you have to say convert.toInt32. But conditions apply is your range of the data right side should be matching with the left side data type. So let's put a breakpoint here now and call this function. So should I comment this line and call this function? Okay, so we are focusing to second question now. Come here, F10, F10, F10. So it asked, let's take same example, 200. Okay, here I have written something, right? Take 200 for X, take 500 for Y. Let's take that. I tell 200 for X and X has stored 200. Then I stored 500 for Y. 500. So nobody is overlapping anybody. Both are having data now. Now next step is, can I store Y into X? It will say yes, you can. Why? Because your range is matching. Your range is matching. 500 is in the range of integer. Even though it is a bigger one, which one? Y. So the moment you say convert.toInt32, what it did is, first of all, if you have any decimal value, it will round it up. This time I entered both round number, so 500 will come and sit here. If I will enter 500.76 also, it will round it up and store in X. Now it will display both as 500, 500. Then it came back here. Now again I will run it, and this time I will see how it is rounding up the number. Okay, so two work it is doing now. One is store the data, and second work is, if it is by chance really decimal, then round it up. So this time intentionally, this one I will give round number, and this one I will give something with decimal like 500.97. So as per your mathematical knowledge, if I will round up this number, it should be 501, isn't it? Because it is 0.5 or more, so it will make 501. If it is 0.37, it will make 500. That means 0.5 or more, next number, less than 0.5 means same number. So that is what the rule here. So it is going to convert. Now this is 500.97, this is 200. Now X cannot by general store decimal, because before decimal separate memory, after decimal separate memory. So that much memory is not available in X, so it will round it up. After rounding it up, it become purely integer of 32-bit. Then X will say absolutely fine, you can store it. So go here, check it out what it did. Can you see? 500.97, it converted to 501. Now 501 is a 32-bit integer. That's why it says no problem, I can hold it now. So this way explicit conversion happened. Implicit versus explicit. We have two more types, but before that, if you have any questions, yeah, one by one, anybody? You can unmute and speak. I will go to parsing. Yeah, I will tell you, explain you what is casting and parsing. Anybody else? Okay. possible, but what happen, if you say here convert dot to int 32, but this is itself is decimal, right? Okay, so like you lost the decimal value, right? Imagine I want this y also, then I didn't get the y actually. That means from beginning itself you removed that decimal value. But sometimes that's why. Okay, so if you say value of x as well as value of y, that's why I display here value of x as well as y, right? So if you are doing here itself possible, not a mistake, but you are losing forever that decimal value. But now I have full provision. Whenever I want integer, I will use x. Whenever I want decimal, I will use y. Okay. Correct. Yes, why not? Absolutely. But make sure that the range what you are entering is within this 16-bit. Got it or not? Like if you go here, 16-bit is maximum storing up to 65535. So by chance somebody will enter more than here 65565 like this, then it will not show. I mean, it will say no, I cannot convert it, because you are one hand you are saying convert to 16-bit, other hand you are giving out of range data. But as long as that data is within range of 16-bit, absolutely possible. Why not? Okay. But vice versa is not possible. Like suppose I will say here 64, it will say how can it possible? You are giving me smaller one left side and you are saying me convert to 64-bit. Integer itself is 32-bit. So this will not be possible, but 16 will be possible, absolutely. If you are 100% sure that this is within the range of 16-bit. Okay. Correct. So in that case, if you are going beyond that range, then it will be one runtime error. Compilation time it will say okay, but runtime it will say, hey, you are entering bigger value. How can I convert and store in a smaller one? So that is called runtime error or exception. But if your range is up to the mark, then everything fine. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah.
In case we know x as a string and y as a integer.
That is also runtime error, because ABCD just like this you are saying, right? Somebody wrote ABCD. Okay. So if you convert this to integer, it will be runtime error. It will say type, format mismatch exception, something like that. So range also should be within the range, as well as the format of the data also matching.
Suppose in input itself, pass the value which encodes as integer value, which encodes pass the value
ABCD, something like this.
which encodes as 3.4 like integer value.
Within double quote means it will not allow you. Without double quote means it will allow you. No problem. Within double quote means it is become a string, so it will not allow. But without double quote means it will allow. Okay. So same thing, when you ask user integer and user is entering here ABCD, then it will understand it like double quote ABCD, isn't it? So double quote ABCD will never be possible to store in integer, so it will show error. That is called runtime error. Is that clear? So format should match, range should match, then it will say yes, I can convert it. Either format is mismatch or range is mismatch, both the cases it will say runtime error, execution time error. Anybody else? Any other question? I can see two raised hand from long time, whether you are speaking or not speaking. Bindu and Hanumant Raju. Have you already clarified? Okay, then you can click again, that raise hand will go. Okay, so anybody else, any other kind of doubt, guys? Mhm. Uh-huh. Go ahead, go ahead. Okay. Let me repeat what you said, whether I'm understanding correctly. You are saying integer you accepted from the user, as well as decimal you accepted from the user, and decimal value you are converting to integer and storing in X. And you are going to display X, whether it will give with decimal or without decimal. Is that the question? It will not give decimal, because integer will never store decimal part, right? Acha, first case you are talking about. That means this case you are talking about, convert to decimal. So when I convert, the if you are not giving point something like 0.89 or something, that means it will treat as round number only. Round number only. Because though it will allocate memory 128 bit, but it will while displaying on the screen, it will display 29 means 29, not 29.00. Okay. Okay, so we have two more data type casting guys here. Today we saw, let me write that, casting. It is bit bigger topic, so maybe we have to continue it next class as well. So casting is of 4 types. Out of that, 2 types we saw today. One is implicit, which is small to large, and one is explicit, which you understood as large to small. Large means memory large, not the value large. Memory large, small memory to large memory, not the value. It doesn't matter 200 or 100 as a value, but memory matters. So here, so large memory to small. 2 more type we have. One is called value type to reference type. That is called boxing. Value type to reference type. And ulta, that opposite, you can say unboxing. Reference type to value type. So now we have few more things pending in this topic. One is little detailed understanding of value type and reference type. First of all, what are they? And then if I have a value type like integer and I have a reference type like string or object, if I am converting, how boxing happens, how unboxing happens. So these 2 things we will see next class. And one more thing is, whatever 4 variety we saw, these are all casting. There is some more thing called parsing. What is wrong with casting? So that same work I will go and do with parsing. That also we'll see. Okay. What is wrong with casting? So that we'll go for parsing. If parsing is the best, then why the hell this casting is there? Why don't they remove it? Right? So these are all few question mark we have to clarify ourselves. So what is parsing, and what is the best way of using parsing over casting, and what is the best way using casting over parsing. So both are doing almost equal work, but sometimes this is having good practice to use, sometimes having this as good practice to use. So these are few things we'll discuss next class. And now let me save this and stop the recording.